Hi everyone, it's Chris here. I hope you're well. I'm about to share with you a video I made down on the beach about the winter I've had here and how I've on one hand struggled with it, but on the other hand done a lot of really good things that have helped me through those difficult months. And when that's finished, I will then share with you some lessons that I've learned from all of that. The reason I'm adding this video content from within my house is that the beach, I was a little bit distracted on the beach because there are lots of people down there walking their dogs. It's half term here in England. It's the first day in quite a long time where we've not had rain. So I felt the video I made down there didn't quite get across everything I wanted to say properly. Okay, so let me moan a little bit about England for 10 minutes. I hope you'll stick with me because there's some more positive stuff afterwards. So first of all, we've had awful weather in the southwest here. I don't know the exact numbers, but I think we've probably had rain every day for 40 odd days. As someone said, since Boxing Day. So it's felt relentless, and during January we just seem to have one storm after another, named storms as well, so serious storms that did a lot of damage. And there were times in January when you felt there was no end in sight to it all. It was just very depressing and very disturbing. You can't live your life the way you want to live your life when the weather's like that. For example, it was very difficult to go out hiking. It was very difficult to even make YouTube videos because my camera's not waterproof. And it was also at times a little bit frightening. You know, we lived by the sea and the house was literally shaking. It was almost like there was a little earthquake as the waves battered the coastline. And the weather did a lot of damage to all the seawalls. We sadly lost, about a quarter of our pier. I mean, the pier was already in disrepair and there's only part of it open, but the complete end section was washed away. And this led to a lot of discussion on social media about how sad it is for the town. And the owners explained the whole situation, said they hadn't got enough money to repair it all, and they set up a funding page. And they did raise some money, but it also created a whole load of debate on the internet about whether we should be donating money to a private family, a private company, to help them repair the pier. So that was the one thing. And then in addition to that, a lot of our promenade has been badly damaged. And okay, it's wonderful to see the volunteers out there and the workers from the council presumably clearing up a lot of that. But there's still an awful lot more work that needs to be done. And you can see some of the repairs that have been made so far are just not up to the standard you would expect. It almost looks like it's a temporary repair, but you kind of know it's not temporary. It'll be there for years and years and years to come. So I found that all a bit depressing. Yeah, and then there's, presumably because of the rain, a big hole opened up in one of the main footpaths through the town centre. That's been standing there, I think, since the beginning of December. I can't remember exactly the date, but right through the busy Christmas shopping period, and even now, you can hardly get past the sort of the bollards that have been put up to stop people falling down the hole. So, again, another sad reflection on the state of our country's finances. Oh, sorry, I really am moaning, aren't I? But yeah, this has been difficult. And then the most recent thing is we've got an outdoor swimming pool here, but the council can't afford to run it, so they're not going to open it this summer. And then maybe one other thing is the local libraries here in Devon are struggling with their funding, so they've begun a consultation on different options to how they can reduce their costs. And the libraries are a wonderful thing, you know, they're a nice warm place to go to meet people, to learn, to use the computers, to read books, play games, and just have fun. And I think there's something that should be treasured and looked after. So, is that enough complaining? No, it's not actually, because the other thing we've struggled with is housing. So we came here and we rented a house, and it's not perfect, but it's been our home, and it has a lot of really positive aspects to it. But the owners have put it up for sale, and for various reasons we wanted to move anyway. So now we're in a situation where we're looking for somewhere to live, but we also have people looking at our property, considering whether they want to move into it. And it's putting a bit of pressure on us because our budget is very limited. We had a dream as we approached our retirement about what life would be like living by the sea, either here or Portugal. And when we go and look at these houses that are for sale at the lower end of the market here, they come nowhere near what we'd hoped for. And so we've found that whole thing a bit depressing. And yeah, it's another reminder that the country has problems. So where am I going with all this? I think that it really is enough moaning now, isn't it? Okay, so there's all the negative things from this winter, and I hope you didn't find that too depressing. What I'd like to do now is talk to you about the things that helped get me through the winter. And even though during the video I said that certain things made me feel depressed, made me feel sad, I didn't actually feel like I was suffering with depression during this period. My mental health was actually in really good shape throughout the winter months. And I started asking myself, well, why is that? That seems very strange to me. So yeah, here's the next part of the video on the good things that helped me through all of that. Okay, this is in no order of importance, but first of all, I spoke to, this is going to sound personal, but don't worry, I'm not going to go into any details, but I spoke to a cancer nurse about my incontinence, which is now much, much better, but not perfect. And it's almost a year since my operation. And what she said to me was I should start Pilates to build up my upper body strength. So I've been going to these Pilates classes, and really enjoying it. I don't know why, I feel like I'm at school when I'm in there. You know, I'm being given instructions on what to do, and we're all testing ourselves to the limit on mats that are almost like the gym mats you used to have at school. So I don't know, there's something about the whole environment that makes me feel like I belong there, like I'm with people who are my age, and I can feel it making a difference to my body, because even though I do a lot of running, I do neglect my upper body strength. And so that's been really helpful. Then The other thing is I've joined a program called Wintering Well. Now I'll put the link in the description below because I can't remember all the details. But basically it's a National Lottery funded program for people who live in Devon, and it is to help people get through the difficult winter months, and it's particularly aimed at those of us who tend to be on our own a lot. So maybe freelancers, writers, people who work in the charity sector. And we meet, gosh, it must be 4 or 5 times a week on Zoom calls. And through this I've got to know some really nice people. I found it extremely stimulating because we do a lot of creative exercises. In some kind of way, a bit like the Pilates reminds me of school, this program reminds me a little bit of work, because even though we all work for different organisations and do very different things, we all come together for these calls and we all talk very openly in a safe environment about things that are actually interesting to all of us. So I've learned a lot about what's going on in the charity sector, for example, and there's a lot of coaching involved. In fact, I'll share another link as well in the description. I was coached and we recorded it, so I'll share the link to that as well, so you can watch me having a chat with a coach for half an hour. So that was really good. So this program, it runs through the months of January, February and March, so we're halfway through it now, and it's so good that I'm actually a bit concerned about what I do afterwards. It's just like the best thing I've ever been on, I think. I really highly recommend it. I'm not sure whether there'll be other programs that are run like this, but yeah, it's just highlighted to me the power and the importance of connection with other people. I think that's the main thing that I took from that. And then the other group of people I'm with, I've mentioned them before, the Teignmouth Writers. So I usually meet up with some of them at least once a week, and with all of them once a month. And because I've not been YouTubing and because I've not been able to do much else because of the weather, I've really focused on my writing during the winter, and my book is coming along nicely. I'm really happy with the progress I've made, and they have been so supportive and they just inspire me in so many different ways. I mentioned on one of my previous videos about a poetry evening. Well, we had another one of those last week and it was just so much fun. It's another example of the importance of belonging to a strong community. And then you add things to all of this that are just as important, like the fact I'm running this book club for the U3A, I'm doing some volunteering, I go to church, we've made friends through my wife's work, and gone to, even had a social evening out playing bingo with them. That was a charity event, but good fun. And so all of this has just kept me happy, kept me busy, kept me happy, kept me energised, and the weeks are flying by. And we have had some moments, my wife and I have had some really serious moments where we've discussed in detail whether or not we should consider Portugal. And the main driver for that is the housing situation. That is really frustrating because you kind of need that foundation in your life, don't you? If you haven't got somewhere to live, then it's really difficult to be happy in life. And that has led to these serious discussions, but I know from past experience time takes care of these issues, and I know we will find something soon. We've got a couple more viewings scheduled in the next couple of weeks, and both of them look promising on paper at least. So we'll see. Right, so where does that leave us? Okay, so if we can't find anywhere to live soon, and if our current property gets sold and we have to move out, then our plan B is to just go and rent in Portugal for 6 months, because I've got an EU passport, so it's quite easy for us. We don't own any furniture or many possessions. We've already got 60% of our possessions in a storage unit anyway, so if the worst comes to the worst, we'll just go and have a bit of fun for 6 months and try out life in a different country. But I have a feeling it won't come to that. I've got a feeling we're going to find somewhere to live pretty soon, and I think it's amazing that for the first time in a very, very long time, I feel part of a community, and through that I'm kind of understanding a little bit more about what it means to be human. I feel like my life has some more meaning and purpose, and if all of that can get me through the most dreadful winter we've had in a very long time, then that shows how important it is to me, and I think we'll stick with it. In 2 weeks' time we're going to Morocco, so that'll be my first time in Africa. Maybe I'll make a YouTube video from there. This isn't a travel channel, but perhaps that would be a bit of fun. Let me know in the comments if you'd like me to do that, and perhaps I'll share a video of me in the desert or something. But you know, if we can find somewhere to live, then it's going to be wonderful living here, I think. And maybe we just have to go on a nice long holiday in the winter each year to escape these storms. Okay then, so what did I learn from all of that? Well, the first thing I think is that constraints can guide you. They don't just limit you, but sometimes they can guide you in the right direction, perhaps. So we thought having not enough money to buy a house in Portugal, or at least to buy the kind of house that we wanted in Portugal, was a really sort of negative thing. We felt very sad about it, very unlucky. But actually, as a result of that, we came back to England, which was somewhere we needed to be. You know, I wouldn't have swapped the last 18 months here in England for anything in the world. It gave us so much. And so, yeah, maybe constraints aren't always a bad thing, is the first lesson. The second lesson is that community matters more than any house that you live in. And, you know, we have rented a small flat for the last 18 months, and by and large that hasn't been a problem. We haven't spent all of our time wishing we had a nice big detached house or a better house, or we haven't spent all our time wishing we owned a house either. The house was just a base from which we lived our life, and the community has given me something very special. You know, the fact that I've been able to serve my community and my community has served me has been very enriching, very satisfying, and has given a lot of purpose to my life, and it has taught me what it means to be human. I don't think we're meant to live in isolation. I don't think we're meant to be selfish. I think we're meant to share and serve and be part of something bigger than ourselves. The next lesson I learned is that uncertainty doesn't mean you're on the wrong path. So I think we all crave certainty, and if we don't have certainty, we sometimes feel anxious. It's a little bit of the fear of the unknown. But I think, by and large, I am learning to just allow life to unfold and to just go with the flow and see where it all takes me. At certain moments in time, I try to nudge it in a certain direction, but there is so much that is out of my control that I just have to relax a little bit and go with it. And we're certainly in that situation now. I can't tell you where we're going to be living in 1 month's time, 2 months' time, 1 year's time. Really can't. But that doesn't mean to say I need to lose sleep at night. It doesn't mean to say my life is in a mess. It just means that's how it is. And I just need to just allow it to be. Yeah, so I think that's it really. I mean, I'm sure there are more lessons in there, and I'll put that in my book. But those 3 lessons are enough for now, I think. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you got something from it. And yeah, I'll hopefully make another video again soon and share it with you. So take care of yourselves. Thanks then. Bye.